Your Hollywood system stole our sex and co-opted our violence, so there's nothing left for our kinds of movies.
Movie.
I did not hit her. It's not true.
Klopex?
Klopex. Klopek.
Up yours, baby.
Me and Bubba, my little brother, listen to you every night.
Where in the hell are we?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Hey guys, and welcome to this week's episode of Cult Film in Review. I am your host, Cody Everett. This week we are talking about the 1977 animated classic known as Wizards. Well, is it a classic? We'll discuss that and more. Hey guys, you know what? Without saying anything else, let's just start the show. Hey guys, we're talking about Wizards this week. It was Mike's pick. Let's just jump into it because, man, I think everybody's got a lot to say about this movie. It's an animated film from 1977. It's about two dueling wizard brothers. One's a mutant, one's something else. I don't know what he is.
He's a wizard. He's a good wizard.
Yeah, but is he like human or elf?
They're both
elf.
just wizards. I don't think one of them's a mutant at all.
Yeah. But actually, it's described as a mutant wizard.
He's a mutant wizard?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he looks like all the other mutants.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. I just thought he was just evil.
Go back and rewatch that movie.
I just thought he was really evil. Well, anyways, continue.
It's about two brothers who are not happy with each other, so they wage war. And it's a lot more than that. And you just got to see it to figure it out. But
we're not going to be able to tell you a goddamn thing about this movie.
But what I want to ask first, as always, is what makes this a cult film? I'm going to go first on this one. I'm going to say what makes this a cult film, and I have it down in my notes here, is drugs. Drugs are what makes this a cult film.
What kind of drugs?
The use of drugs and watching the film?
Yeah. Psychedelic drugs are what makes this a cult film.
Were you on drugs when you watched
No, and I had a terrible time because of it.
I thought that shrooms might have made this experience.
I feel like this one's an acid one.
An acid? I feel like that would actually make me terrified.
I mean, I've never done acid, but I feel like you need something strong.
I feel like I would have a bad trip, and then I would always associate wizards with, loss of my psyche.
You might die.
You might find a new way of
life. Why would I want to do that?
I don't know.
Why would I just don't watch the movie?
That's what I think makes it a cult film. I think what it was it came out and everyone was like, let's go take some drugs. Watch this movie.
Do you think that's what was driving it? He said he made this for families.
This was
his well, compared to his other films, this was a family film, but he was starting trying to start a new way of thinking, really, when he made this film.
I thought the reason he started doing this style of film, which started with Fritz Cat, was to get away from the kitty and the cartoon animals talking and shit.
No, he did it to prove a point that he could do it at PG, not that
exactly. He did. He's like he had a good idea. He proved he could do it without the cuss words and all the bullshit. But he still alludes to all the same things that you're used to seeing and stuff like.
So
Fritz
then let me just ask you, Chris, what makes it a cult film? Besides drugs and I think the director.
I think
I'll throw that in there.
I think there's an interesting political voice behind this movie, and that shows through a lot in just the story. And and he has very poetic, strong things to say, but he's also just happens to be a good animator as well, and can that's his medium, that's his art. So I think he puts it together so good, and it's memorable because you can enjoy it on drugs. Of course you can. It's colorful and random, and it's just enjoyable. So why wouldn't LSD make it any better?
Okay, Mike, what do you think makes this a cult film?
Well, I mean, the director is correct, Ralph Bakshi. I mean, he's a kind of a legend in the animation area. Fritz the Cat was a huge cult film. It was the first X-rated animated film, so that got him a lot of recognition. He did, I think, 2 or 3 films before he did Wizards. This was the one he wanted to be at least family-friendly enough that you could bring your kids to. I don't know that he succeeded at that in any way, but other than that, I mean, it's very typical of that 70s style of animation, but at the same time, it's way off the wall. It's it's this big tale and this big idea, and he tried to put it all together in this one film, and he came out with something a little strange.
Kyle, what do you think makes it a cult film?
I want to have to kind of piggyback on what Mike's saying. I think the director has a big thing to do with it, and I think it's because of his other larger films. Fritz the Cat. He did the Lord of the Rings, right?
That was after. But
it was after the fact. Did The Hobbit. So I think the popularity of those helped to generate the buzz about this underground kind of, this sci-fi and fantasy blended together film that's just bizarre and has an insanely deep story to tell that basically has to do with war and violence and technology and love and peace all at the same time. It's just really bizarre. And I think it takes a couple watchings just to actually understand what's going on.
Okay.
So,
this isn't like a one-off movie where you just watch it one time and get it. Like, you're going to go back and discover things for a while.
All right. Okay. So then let's just jump into that. Let's jump into the story, because I, for one, was not a fan of it. I understand that it sounds like you all are, but I was not a fan.
I'm a fan for what it is.
Boring as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Confusing as hell. Disconjointed beyond all hell. No character development.
Okay.
Like that's weak, man. That's weak writing. That's not good writing.
No.
I think you're more stuck on the visuals than anything that movie has to say.
It's an animated film.
No. I thought the script was very well written. Like, I enjoyed like, because he doesn't really come out and say anything. He just like alludes to it, and you have to figure out what's the message, and that's what makes it great. It's like it could be this or it could be that. It gets like a conversation going because it's political. It's like gritty and urban. And
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No,
I don't want to jump in.
Yeah.
Did you actually finish the plot of the film describing it?
Well, not like, I guess so. It's two brothers.
So essentially, it's two wizards, and there's just so people can understand, because we're going to jump into shit. So
because I'm gonna blow some holes.
So there's okay. So there's two wizards. One of them's Avatar, which is the good wizard, and then the dark or mutant wizard, which is Blackthorn.
Black Wolf.
Blackthorn, whatever. Black Wolf. And basically Black Wolf, after their mother dies, Black Wolf tries to take control of the land and seize power. But because Avatar had the power of grief behind him in his magic, I think it was.
Yes.
Okay.
He beat Black Wolf. And then Black Wolf has basically, since then, has always tried to take the land back with his armies, but his armies always get bored and tired, and they just get scared when the elves start fighting back and shit. So he finds a secret weapon, which is a relic from the days before the nuclear war, and he uses that to give his army strength, and basically Avatar has to go on a journey and destroy these machines. And
here's a spoiler for you: the secret weapon is a projector, and the film is Nazi propaganda. There is your spoiler. Somehow it survived 3 million years and 10,000 or 1,000 nuclear blasts. That film did
something like that.
The most amazing film in
Evil
history.
never dies.
Well,
man.
he has other things too. He has tanks. He has guns.
Yeah,
like
those also lasted. Yeah,
well,
3 million years.
Right.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, great.
All right,
good story.
I liked it. I liked that. That was what it was.
Oh God, dude, it was so stupid.
No, I thought
yes, it was.
I thought it was, if anything, strong imagery for the type
Again,
of film
that's all
it was.
that's all the film
Look,
was.
This is what you got to understand about this film. This film is not an entertainment animated film.
No.
This film is a kind of an art house film. It's an allegory tale about, he's discussing things. He's discussing things about war and peace, and he's discussing things about technology versus like spirit.
Yeah.
These are all things that are, and it's all symbolic.
Also, didn't he start writing this when he was like 15?
I don't know if he started writing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
didn't
think he
know.
started
I don't
writing
know
it
if
when he was a kid.
I mean,
if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong.
It's no more entertaining than if you watched Eraserhead for entertainment value.
Yeah,
it's not an entertainment film.
Do you know how many times I've fallen asleep during Eraserhead?
But it's a good film.
Yeah, I like it.
For what it does, which is not trying to entertain you and put together some awesome plot.
Do you know how many times I fell asleep during this movie?
I don't know. How many?
I just love movies that don't entertain me. What an asinine statement.
What?
I don't go to like. I just love movies that don't entertain me.
Well, no,
Like,
you can
that's-
take
no, that's
entertainment out of being like introspective.
No, that's not an acidine statement. There's plenty of films that make you think more than make you like
Yeah, documentaries. They're awesome.
get excited and run. No, like what's another one though?
I don't.
Antichrist. That's
There you go.
not an entertaining movie at all. But the ending like really
Any
makes you
Lars
like
von Trier
fucking.
movie.
It's so psychological. It makes you think more than be entertained. And discovering or thinking you discovered what the director was trying to say is the entertainment aspect of it. It's like solving a fucking mystery. You know.
It's art.
Boom.
I understand that. I understand that's what he was going for. I understand he was going for art, but I wasn't entertained by his art.
Okay.
Like at all.
Have you ever seen Fritz the Cat?
No, I've never seen Fritz the Cat.
You
but
might like that one better.
but
I mean,
have
this
seen,
is a
I have
little.
seen Lord of the Rings, and I really like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, but that was based off like a
Yeah,
one
a
of the
good
most
story.
popular
Somebody
books
else
that's ever
wrote
written.
that.
Oddly enough, oddly enough, it was written off a good, based off a good story. I know, crazy, crazy, right? He makes a good film when he doesn't write it. I think there's no middle ground on this movie, though. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, we'll talk about that when we come back. We're gonna take a quick break.
Hey, Louie, what are we gonna do with the prisoners? How do I know? They're finding out right now.
Hey, York, what is this place?
Dumbo. It's religion, man. Ain't you heard?
Religion?
Yeah, Black Wolf says the responsibilities of the prisoners is up to the priests inside. Now, what we gotta do, Dumbo, is reconnoiter the priests and find out.
What is all this?
Bits and pieces of religion, man. What's the matter with you? Holy objects, they say for millions of years, man.
Well, who are we looking for?
Hey, so dumb. We're looking for the priests, man, the priests.
Hey guys, we're back and we're going to talk about the 1977 animated film Wizards. That's what we've been talking about. So going off of what I was saying also about the story that irked me. Okay, so again, technology versus magic is a very plot-heavy thing in this movie, and I hate that Avatar uses machines all the time in the movie.
Well,
how so?
He
uses one.
He uses
sure.
He used one for a jukebox.
He turns it into a jukebox, then he uses the gun at the end
Yes.
to kill his brother.
But that was more like, what? Help me out with what's the term for that, Mike? That was
More ambiguity.
no
What?
ambiguating.
What?
Was that
Like-
English?
Moral ambiguity.
I think
Ironic.
It was ironic, yeah.
Oh, it was. Are you talking about irony?
Yes.
I
Fuck you.
have a theory as to why I don't think it's an ironic thing that he's doing that.
Well, we'll get to that now or later.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Ambiguity. I'm sorry, guys. That's now I got it to come out of my mouth.
Ambiguity.
Yes.
Well, go ahead and talk about it because we're talking
Yeah.
about the damn story because it's going to get and we're going to get it. We're talking about tech versus magic, and obviously that's going to lead into the Nazi propaganda throughout the whole film, which is not for Nazis. I should specify that.
No.
Yeah, it's definitely
It's
not.
It's used to help. It's used as a symbol to strike fear. Basically.
Well, it was
it's
also showed how Nazi propaganda was used to excite an army, basically, like
Yeah.
Hitler did.
A lot of this
Either
film
excite or scare. It
is
was one or
about
the other.
the usage of propaganda and how it can be evil,
Powerful
weapon,
weapon.
a powerful weapon, more powerful than even really the technology he was using.
Mm-hmm.
Because it turned the people against the people.
Yeah, kind of.
You know.
So what did you want to discuss?
Well, I thought you had a whole bunch of notes on Nazis.
On the use of the gun. Let's
Yeah,
just start there.
Okay, let's start there. Okay, the use of the gun. So we're discussing this whole thing. It's magic versus technology, right?
Yes.
And this is supposed to be the backdrop. And the understanding that I have about these two sides is that you got one group, the Nazi evil mutants,
Yeah.
that is using this technology that's taking the technological route, versus the magic users, which are the fairies and the elves and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Now, the understanding that I get is that the people that are technological are, they're prone to violence. That violence is their main way of getting things done. They're warlike,
Okay.
right? Just like this Nazi backdrop they're using. Like, it's fucking attack.
Yeah.
They're trying to take land from them. And these magic users are supposed to be the peace lovers, the people that just want to be live and let live. They just give us our land and we'll
The
be happy
hippies.
here. Essentially, right?
Yeah.
But now listen, we talk about some of the people in this and what the symbolism of some of the things that they're trying to do. A lot of it doesn't even work out, right? So we got Necron 99, right?
Yeah.
He's that
Great
robot.
name, by the way.
It's a cool name, yeah.
Fantastic.
He's the assassin in the red hood that starts off. And
He's on the cover art.
You mean the best character in the movie?
Yeah.
Honestly, you feel so.
Honestly, no. He is the best character in the movie.
He's definitely an interesting character, to be sure. He starts off as almost like a Terminator. He's out there, and his one job is to be a ruthless killing machine that is meant to kill all the magic users. And he ends up killing the president, which just so happens to be that Eleanor, I think her name.
Eleanor, yep.
Yeah, her father, right?
Great costume choice for Eleanor.
Oh,
by the way.
God.
Nothing says PG like big old fairy boobs.
Yeah, right.
Oh, my God. That was
sheer
Well, we
lingerie
couldn't get too
fairy.
far away from Bakshi's like symbol or his illustrations, but
oh, yeah, the tall phallic, like...
Oh, that's a dick. That's a dick. That tower he lives in is a giant dick.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah. Anyways, going back to this
Great
Necron
movie.
99. He shoots the president, and then he reprograms this thing and names it Peace instead.
Mm-hmm.
And then the robot comes out and he warns him, don't hurt any of my friends, and he says, all I want is love, all I want is peace, all I want is freedom. And then he proceeds to gun down all of his enemies like a ruthless killing machine.
Yeah.
If his whole message is to be peaceful, obviously violence doesn't seem to work with that. It's the complete diametrically opposed. So I feel like he fails on that level. Second of all, we got Avatar, who's supposed to be this peaceful guy, right? He used to be some sort of messiah, I'm assuming. When
That's
he goes,
what it sounds like.
Right. That he used to be some kind
Used
of
to
war.
be a healer and stuff like that.
Right?
So,
and when Eleanor betrays him and runs him off into the tank, he goes on this crazy thing where he's running around making flowers.
he basically loses his...
He loses his shit.
Yeah.
Right? But he's like a goddamn hippie all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But what is
I didn't understand that
the
part
thing
either.
I don't understand is the end, he pulls this gun out and shoots this guy.
Yeah, Black,
his brother.
his
Black
brother.
Wolf.
Black
right?
Wolf. Great.
If he's supposed to represent peace and be some sort of like messiah kind of thing, why the hell is he resorting to the final thing as being violence?
That was all of our questions, and you implied you had an answer to that.
Was
I
that
don't. I'm bringing it up.
Oh, okay.
Was
I
that a-
thought he had like
I'm
a
saying it
theory
was. I'm
or
saying it
something.
wasn't ironic. I do have a theory. I'm saying why it's not ironic. The only thing that I can understand is that what he's saying is that the ends essentially justify the means. It's kind of like an argument that a lot of pro-gun people use, is that guns can be used not only to kill, but they can also be used as a way to contain peace, right?
Mhm.
If you have to kill an evil person, like, say, Hitler,
Yeah.
you're not going to stop them unless you're going to use violence. So
Yeah.
it's using violence as a way to peace, but I kind of feel like it belies the message of the entire
It does.
film.
It does, because then you look at Avatar like, well, like it's just it does, because it's
Well, if you think about it, I mean, if Avatar has spent most of his life like trying to change his brother, trying to stop his brother from what he's trying to do, and he's exhorted all the powers that he has had, all of his. He's a great wizard, and yet he still cannot get his brother to stop being evil and trying to rule the world.
Mhm.
Then the only way to do it is by killing his brother using the technology that his brother has come to rely on more so.
And I can go with that if Bakshi didn't create this entire world that seemed to be going in this direction of, okay, you got the Nazis over here, and violence is a bad thing, and war is a bad thing, and propaganda is a bad thing, and then you have these guys over here who are supposed to be the peaceful people who essentially resort to violence and win the same way that this other person. It's not like the magic in this movie is only being used for good, peaceful reasons and making flowers and shit. He's fucking like zapping shit with
I
his
feel like
hands.
this is like the chicken before the egg analogy. You know, it's like what came first. You know, it's like violence. Violence, by creating violence to protect yourself, it's like, how do you justify that? I mean, you could classify it as just like fighting violence with violence.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? As a instinct to protect yourself or to protect what's yours. I don't know.
I guess the question is he saying that to preserve peace, essentially, you're going to have to resort to some form of war?
Yes, that's exactly what he's saying. You have to use violence to have peace.
Because the only thing
It's
that's
unavoidable.
that
Like-
sums up this film is that which is so like throwaway, is that they find that stupid lizard and he says, "Let's kill him," and Avatar's just like, "No, let's forgive."
Yeah.
And I guess that's supposed to be the message of like, oh, well, at least he's showing mercy, as where his brother probably wouldn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
can see that.
Awesome.
Like yeah, having tolerance, I guess. Tolerance is a big thing. God, Eleanor.
And how did you guys
I'm
what did you guys
sorry.
think he was trying to say about technology? Is he saying that technology is essentially evil, or that it can be used for good and evil? It just depends on who's
I feel
using
like
it.
the only side of that was shown in this movie was technology is evil, though. I didn't see them present a side that says, "Hey, technology can be used for good."
Except for at the very end when he kills he uses the gun to kill his brother.
Yeah. So I don't know where I was going with that.
Exactly.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
That's
That's
why
what-
it
that's what
gets
I'm saying.
confusing and
Like,
murky in this.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying.
Well,
like,
here's the biggest question. Before you jump into what you're saying, I have a very simple question.
Okay.
Did he not know how to end the film?
No, I think he didn't know what the hell he was doing. I think he's honestly, I think he had maybe one or two deep ideas to run with this movie and develop it, and it developed weak. And to me, it came off like a pretentious filmmaker. That's how I took this film. Like, I took it as I'm making he purposely. I don't know. Like he purposely was like, I'm gonna show everybody how good at art I am.
Yeah.
Well,
he
I
got to a status where he had.
you just kind of justified my question. Is he had one or two deep ideas and he thought he would roll with it, but when it came down to the end of it, he couldn't.
He didn't know what his message was.
So
he did not.
He didn't know. So then he just basically ended it like that.
Yeah, but the only thing is, I feel like that's a cop out. When people say that they don't know how to end their films, there's plenty of ways he could have ended this film. He could have turned his brother good. He could have tried to.
That's what I'm saying. Did he
speech.
just
could have
take
done
a cop
anything.
out and have him shoot the brother? That's it.
I've always felt from the times that I've watched this film that yes, that gun being pulled out of his sleeve is essentially a cop out.
Was an excuse to get a great one-liner in there?
I mean, yeah,
He did have a pretty solid one-liner.
Yeah, it's a pretty badass.
Yeah, because his brother said, "I come in peace," and then he said, "Yeah, but you go in pieces."
No, not quite as good as that one.
He said something to the effect of, "By the way, I'm glad you changed your last name." Or
Yes.
something, and he fucking shot him.
Right.
It's like,
But
what?
it's definitely not a climactic battle in any sense.
No.
It's over in a second. He essentially beats him with a David Blaine magic trick up the sleeve. Like, no magic really used. It's just it's an illusion.
Yeah.
Really.
All right, so to move on from the story a little bit, because I want to talk about the animation also.
Yeah.
Here's my problem, right? The animated stills, fantastic. The backgrounds, fantastic. The rest of the animation, shit. Which is so distracting when you're looking at the background. You're like, God damn, that background is gorgeous, and there's so much detail, and then there's no detail in the characters. It's frustrating to watch.
I think that those characters are pretty representative of all of his animation.
Yeah, definitely.
For the most part.
Most all of the animation from kind of that mid 70s, early 80s. You know, I mean, there's other films that have that as Fire and Ice is kind of the same way, like gorgeously designed backdrops. But like when you look at what's the artist of that? Frazzetti?
Frank Frazetta.
Frazetta. When
You're talking about like the Conan, who did the Conan stuff?
Yeah, he did
Okay.
Conan. He did Fire and Ice. So you look at the backdrops, and they're beautiful. Like the mats in the back are great. But then the characters, the animations themselves are very, very soft and rounded. They're not sharp and cut like all of his normal artwork is. And I just think that's just a victim of the technology they were going with. They had.
No, from what I understand, he grabbed pretty much any animator off the street he could find to help him with this film. Is what I read. I don't know how true that is
For this film?
For this film, for Wizards.
Well, no, that's not
because
true.
the guy. Yeah, well, dude, he tried to bring in a guy from overseas, and then by the time the guy got over here to do the animation, they had already 2 months into it, and he didn't even have a job.
I didn't read that.
I didn't read that either.
Yeah,
I heard that he got a lot of his old like Terrytone people to help
I don't
him
know.
with this.
The background was done by comic book artists. I know that.
Oh, well,
that's why the background was
makes
so
sense.
detailed and fantastic.
Mhm.
And then the main characters themselves were just. It was not.
Do you think it's because there's a lot more motion happening with the characters? You know, so that's like they have to draw more of that, more
Yeah.
animation in the characters, so they make it more simple.
It's a possibility.
Yeah, because
for budget wise, that's a possibility.
Well, if you're showing like two people battling, there's so many frame stills that you
But
have
what do
to
you do if-
animate
yeah,
little
but-
by little. So yeah, it would make more sense if you keep the characters slightly less detailed.
Well, there is some examples of that, like the creatures that they're writing, those kind of like bird-like things with 2 legs.
Yeah.
Those are originally supposed to be horses, but they found that drawing 4 legs is a lot harder than drawing 2 legs, so they just changed it. Which is why those gallop sounds are still running around.
I like how they horse
the gallop
sound.
sound.
There's still a horse sound actually in here.
I
too.
think I wasn't a big fan of the audio.
I was
film.
a big fan of the sound, like the sound design.
Really?
I really didn't have a problem with it either.
I thought it was weak.
I
man.
thought the score was pretty good.
Yeah,
the score wasn't bad.
Musically, I thought it was good, and yeah, you're right on the sound design was good, but the ADR and the voiceover work was just it sounded cheap and rushed.
Yeah.
Yep.
It wasn't clean. It like you could hear like noticeable like pop-ins and outs when it was like recorded. Like they didn't do a lot of work to try to treat the voices as if they were in the setting that they're in. Like they all sound like they're recorded in the same studio, which is what you never want.
Some of the credit I'd like to give this film is that this was an under-budgeted film. Like he asked for an extension of money from I guess it was 20th Century Fox.
$50,000. That's all it was.
And they said no. But to be fair, they also didn't give George Lucas that money either.
And he
when
asked
he asked
for like
it.
$5 million.
And what resulted was him working on the cheap and having to become creative, which I think is one of the greatest things that you can do in filmmaking, is when you're offered with such little and you make something new. All that rotoscoping that kind of gives a message of war just being everywhere, just being surrounded. It's almost like a sensory attack.
Yeah.
It works so well in this film, and that's only
I liked all the scenes that
overused.
I liked
he
all the
overused
scenes
it
that
and
was
the same,
like
and he just used the same images over and over again.
Well, he only had like 5 films that he was rotoscoping at the time.
And it was overused.
Well, if
He
you
didn't
had the
know how-
option to have
he
more
used
money, you
it-
probably would have used other shit.
He
but
used it and he didn't know how to use it correctly because he uses it correctly in other films.
I disagree with you on so many levels on this. I think that worked so well.
I thought so too. I liked it.
It worked, but he overuses it.
I think at that point it was a lot of work to rotoscope something, so they're going to get their time with it. You know,
and he used a lot of it as filler. A lot of it is filler.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yes.
What's he talking about?
He's talking about like just to extend the movie a little bit longer. Let's do a long drawn out thing of like watching these rotoscoping things go back and forth. I mean, I can agree with that. I can agree with that a little bit. I thought when you meant overused it, like that he wasn't using it effectively.
The movie was.
I don't think he's using it.
The movie's
effectively
only
either.
an hour and 17 minutes.
It's
like
83
it's minutes
really
total.
short. It's really short.
It's
I don't
not a
think-
long film.
I didn't feel like he overused
Isn't that weird though? It feels like a long film. To me, it did. It did, dude. I was
First-
like, oh my god.
First time I watched it, the first 30 minutes was pretty brutal. But
No,
for some reason,
the middle of the film that loses total pacing.
The second time I watched it, it actually went by really quick. I felt like I actually could understand the story. I don't know what was different between the first time and the second time, but the second viewing was worth it. I wish you would have watched it one more time.
The opening for it was great. Like I was pumped at the opening, right? Because I've never seen this movie before. I was pumped at the opening with the stills and all that stuff. I was getting pumped. And then we start walking through the town and we see the ferry hookers, and I was like, yeah, okay.
You don't like that?
No.
Then you wouldn't like Fritz the Cat.
Yeah, you would not like that film.
You wouldn't like that.
No, dude. It totally takes you out of the fantasy realm. If you're gonna do fantasy, do fantasy.
That was the whole purpose of this film, was to try to merge modern like aspects with this fantasy idea. He was not trying to make like a pure fantasy film.
No, and I understand
he was
that.
using fantasy as
And he
like
shit
an
all
imagery
over it.
Can't
win
with this one.
No, you can't. But all right, guys, we're gonna take a break and then we're gonna come back and we'll talk more about Wizards.
There's no need for me to destroy you. Surrender. Surrender your world.
You always did need an audience, you sap. Let me tell you, I ain't practiced much magic for a long time. I want to show you a trick Mother showed me when you weren't around. He was on special occasions like this. Oh yeah, one more thing. I'm glad you changed your last name, you son of a bitch.
Hey guys, we're back and we're talking about Wizards. Let's talk about some of the Nazi symbolism that's in this movie because it's everywhere.
It is everywhere.
It's everywhere. They got Nazi armbands on.
They got the uniforms on
They
for
call
the most part.
They call
even
Black Wolf Fuhrer.
They call him Fuhrer. And I even noticed that one of the generals, quote unquote, had a strong German accent towards the end. So
and they also drop Master Race as a line in there.
They do, and there is a scene where there's a mutant eating a carcass, and it has the Star of David on the.
I did not catch that.
Yeah, well, if you watch it, he's like talking off to the side, and then it goes and it cuts to him eating this carcass.
The pig that was upside down?
Yep. It turns, it spins just as the monster's kind of like looks to the right, and the corpse spins, and you see the Star of David just sitting on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
heavy.
Well, would you want to? Let's discuss it. Let's just start with like first thing. Bakshi, he was an Israeli-born
animator.
Okay, let's put it that way. Yeah. So obviously his ties or his feelings towards the Holocaust very strong. He wanted to make a film about the fairy realm is supposed to basically represent what is the drawing out of the state of Israel, and everything else is just the rising tide of fascism that was happening during World War II.
Yeah.
So that's really the backdrop of this. Now, whether or not I personally feel like he hits you over the fucking head with it.
Yeah, I agree.
Like it's too strong. It's too strong. It's
Yep.
like, yeah, we got the point. As much as I love the propaganda part of it, which I think is fantastic, because
I liked it as well.
I think that's what Black Wolf's real power is that he's using this propaganda, and it shows that these mutants are following this propaganda without really understanding even what it's all about. You know, they're just blindly following this ideology, which is ironic. This is the one thing I did find ironic about it, is that this whole mentality of war surrounding this is what got them to be mutants in the first place.
Yeah.
You know, that's the irony of it, is that this eventually would, if they would succeed, probably would have led to another nuclear holocaust.
What was the symbolism behind the two like Christians?
Christians? I thought they were like
they're priests. Right?
Oh,
when they're leading,
I felt more like Hebrew descent.
I think that was just I think they were a representation of all religion.
Okay.
Yeah, because he does. There's one point where he's coming on a cross.
Yep.
And then they do. There's definitely some.
They do when they're like praying
Yiddish or something that's mixed in. But I also took it as it could be the speaking of the tongues, which is another religious construct.
Yeah. And they do it for hours.
They do it for hours, right? And then they shoot them.
Yep.
And they blow up their.
And that's Plan B.
That's Plan B. Yeah.
They shoot and they don't stop.
Charlie, give me Plan B.
What was the point? What were they do? What was the point of originally leading the elves there? What do you think Plan A was?
Oh, I thought they wanted them to take care of them.
They wanted, yes,
leading them there so that because they were prisoners of war, so they were gonna lead them to the church, quote unquote, so the church would feed them and clothe them and take care of them because they were refugees.
Was that also symbolism of concentration camps then?
Yeah, I feel to some extent it could have been. I mean, it definitely is. Like, was that church supposed to be like a ghetto that they were trying to create? Let's take these undesirable people and just jam them in there with their own kind, and then they can take care of themselves, and we can deal with them later on.
Yeah.
Probably, and then just kill them.
Yeah. So, there's definitely a lot of Nazi symbolism in there. Again, I just feel like, you're right. He's beating you over the head with it again. That's where I feel like he takes so many things just too far. Where if he was subtle on things, I think it would have been a lot better film.
I don't think that's his style.
It's not his style. I agree.
I mean, I can forgive him on that. He's definitely a more
in your face.
Yeah, he's definitely an in your face thing. Guy, I should say. Sorry.
Is there anything else anybody wants to hit on?
Other than that, the only thing I also wanted to talk about in terms of the propaganda thing was that no one was immune to it.
That's true.
When Eleanor jumps and kills Necron/Peace, and then jumps into that tank, they kind of use a cop-out basically saying that she was under some sort of spell.
Yeah.
I took that as kind of a symbolism of more as... So she was a very violent character, if you think about it. Every time she was confronted with any kind of challenge, she drew a sword and was ready to fight. And
even with Necron in the beginning, she's just like clawing and shredding at him.
Well,
like really
he just shot her father.
Well, I mean,
So-
I'm trying to drive your point home.
But she definitely seems like almost like a goddamn like a damn Klingon to some extent. Everything was resorted into violence and revenge. I took that spell as being that since Black Wolf's big thing is propaganda and using propaganda and getting people to follow his side, that he essentially kind of made this elf follow him for just a little bit. Like, even she says it was my weaknesses that led me to that I'm not even immune to this kind of thing. And then they frame it in the terms of a spell rather than the propaganda that was being shown that everybody else was following. But I feel like it was the same kind of thing, that even good people can accidentally follow propaganda if they're enraged by hate and violence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Very much so.
How are we going to rate this film?
Wow, we didn't even
discuss that beforehand.
Geez, what can we say? What were I know? Dick-shaped towers.
Dick-shaped towers it is.
All right. That's going to be fun.
All right, guys. Let's start with Chris. Chris, how many dick-shaped towers would you give Wizards?
I would really want to go back and watch it again because I think I would actually rate it higher if I saw it a second time. I enjoyed the movie a lot. I thought it was super artistic, and I'm not 100% of everything that he was trying to say with the film, but I pretty much picked up the gist of it and liked what I saw, and I do like how in your face he is. And I liked all of his artistic style that came out in the film, so I liked Fritz the Cat. So I'm going to go with a 3. I'll do a 3 for Wizards. 3 dick-shaped towers.
3 dick-shaped towers for Chris. Kyle, how many dick-shaped towers would you give it?
I liked this movie to an extent. I enjoyed the symbolism. I did have a problem with some stuff that we touched on. The story was a little convoluted at some parts. The ending didn't make a whole lot of sense. It felt like a cop out. Maybe it wasn't. Who knows? I have to watch it again to really feel like I fully grasp what he's trying to say. I would watch it again, and I think anybody who wants to take on a challenge should watch it again, because as I've read and understand that a lot of his movies are a challenge. It's not just to sit down and go. It's several viewings to really understand what the point he's trying to drive home. So that being said, I think I'm going to give it 3.5 dick-shaped towers.
3.5 dick-shaped towers from Kyle. That's the funniest rating to say so far.
Yeah. Especially the half.
Right? I'll go next, since this was Mike's pick.
3 and a shaft.
We'll save Mike for...
3 and just the balls.
Yeah. Since this was Mike's pick, I'll go next. I, for one, hated this movie. I really just did not like it at all. The in-your-face stuff, I don't appreciate. I think he could be a little more clever. I don't think he was very clever with this film at all. It seems very thrown together. The pacing is god-awful in some parts of the movie. Seems like it's going great for the first 30 minutes, and then in the middle of the film, it just drops off, and you're lost because the pacing is lost. It goes very slow there, and then it picks up again at the end, and almost ends too quickly. It almost has like the American Werewolf in London ending, where you're like, that's it? Yeah. So I just didn't enjoy that. I didn't enjoy the animation except for the backgrounds and the stills, which I thought were done really good. I was angry after I watched this film. I was like, why did someone give him money to do this? That's what I thought.
Technically, they didn't.
Yeah, they did, and they didn't.
Half
yeah.
this was made out of
I mean,
his own pocket.
it made a lot of money too. This film was successful, and it does have a cult following. But I think it's more or less because of the director himself. I would never watch this movie again, honestly. I'm going to give it half a dick-shaped tower for me.
Dick-shaped tower.
That's the lowest rating in cult film and review history.
And I stand by it. I just did not. There's nothing in this film for me that I enjoyed. Not like even the humor was just so bad. It was just a terrible attempt at making jokes. But all right, Mike, how'd you like it?
Okay, well, so the first time I watched this film, I was like 8 or something, or 7.
Yeah.
Obviously, I had absolutely no fucking idea what I was watching, because this is definitely not a film that kids should be watching by any means. Do not be tricked by the PG rating. But now watching it again, I have able to pick up on the things I like and the things I dislike. Look, is it poorly executed at times? Yeah, sometimes. But what I love about this film is that it's an idea film. He went with this idea. He wanted to stick to this idea. He wanted us to know about it. He was under budgeted. And I still think he fucking succeeded in the end of this. So as an artist, that it gives me a lot of respect for him as an artist. I'm going to say that I'm going to give this 4 dick-shaped towers because of that.
It's a lot of dicks.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is a lot of dicks.
Just towering.
Just
There it is, guys. There is our ratings for Wizard. Stay with us, because when we come back, we're going to be playing a new game. Kyle, what's the name of it?
Who the hell am I?
Who the hell am I? So you will find out next who the hell we are.
The time has come. Kill.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back for America's new favorite game, Who the Hell Am I? All right. So we got some great contestants here today for Who the Hell Am I? We have Chris, Mike, Kyle, and Cody. All excited to be here. Great prizes to be won.
Can you refer to yourself in third person?
That's what I'm doing. So I'm very excited to be here and hosting this game. What we're going to do is we have 3 basic general things that we are going to say as a character or a actor to describe them, and we have to guess who they are by the 3 description, the clues. And I'm guessing that we don't want... I'd like if it's my turn, I don't want you guys to figure it out.
Not really. The goal is not. You don't really want them to get it. If they get it, you don't want it to make it easy.
Yeah. So if you get it, you get a point, and if they don't get it, the person who it is, who question or person it is, gets the point. Does that make sense?
So if nobody guessed it, I get a point.
You get a point.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I think we should hold your guesses until all 3 clues are read, so that we can all have a chance to hear the clues. You know what I mean?
All right, sounds good.
Sounds
All
fun.
right. So first up is Kyle. Kyle, who the hell are you?
Well, I'm a character from a film.
Okay. Is
So
that clue number 1?
No, you have to announce whether this is a character from a film
Okay.
or it's an actor.
Okay.
So that you're thinking about characters.
Okay.
Clue number 1.
Clue number 1.
I can't possibly see the harm in listening to this old tape recorder.
Can't possibly see the harm in listening to this old tape recorder.
Okay.
What happens if I already know it?
Just wait till he reads
Just
all
wait
his clues.
to clue number 2.
Clue number 2.
Finally, those 40 hours in woodshop class are paying off.
40? Say 40 hours?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't want to make sure you said 48.
Those 40 hours in woodshop class are paying off.
Okay. All right.
Now I got more confused faces in the room than I did after the first one.
I don't
This
think
is
so.
good.
I
This
don't
is
think so.
good.
I think I still know who it is.
I think clue 3 might give it away. Clue number 3.
Clue number 3.
Right hand, overrated. And
Yeah,
those are your clues.
I knew it from the first
I know
clue.
exactly what it is.
I knew it from the first clue, though.
Well, Cody, I
Yeah,
mean,
what is it?
Go
do
for
you-
it.
do you
It's
want-
Ash from the Evil Dead.
That's
Yeah.
what I would say too.
Boom!
Yeah.
Ash from the Evil Dead.
I knew it from
Very
the
good
first
job.
one. I knew it from the first clue.
Or
I knew it.
it's Star-Lord.
That's one.
Or it's Star-Lord.
Just joking. Definitely not Star-Lord.
So point goes to me. I'm in the lead with 1 point.
A
Thanks.
point does go
Oh,
to
wait.
you.
What if we all knew it, though? I knew it was Ash.
I guess we should get some kind of like hand-raising system here, huh?
Well, no one's gonna be able to see it.
Yeah, because even
I
if
can
they're
see it.
wrong, you just still go in order of who, I guess, like who.
Okay.
That's true. Yeah, he could throw a wrong answer out, and I'll say no.
My point
on.
still counts.
Cody did get the first point.
All right. Next contestant. He is
Heed
from Heed paper. No, Chris.
Damn it!
You are our next
Why am I
contestant
Heed?
on Who the Hell Am I? Who the hell are you, Chris?
Okay. Clue number 1.
Wait a minute. Is this a character from a film
Sorry,
or an actor?
I should have said that. Yes, it is a actor, not a character.
Oh, okay.
An
This one's
actor.
getting interesting.
Okay.
Okay. So clue number 1 is, most people think, or
Okay, good one.
hold on a second, I gotta figure out how to word it right.
Yeah,
That's why I gotta write these down, Chris. You gotta write it down.
Sorry.
Wrote mine down.
Come
Sorry,
prepared.
Sorry, guys.
I'm gonna insert some booze right now.
the first half of my career, I tried to be a serious actor.
Okay.
The first part of my career, I tried to be a serious actor.
Okay.
Okay.
In my most famous role, my partner is a murderer.
In my most famous role, my partner is a murderer. Okay.
Romantic partner or just partner and partner?
Just not
You'll
a
have to
not
do that.
You
romantic.
get any extra
Yeah,
help?
you
You
get
get extra
extra
help.
help.
Come on.
Lifeline.
He's fishing. He's fishing.
Yeah. See how crafty he is, dude?
He's crafty.
Okay.
Just because I'm whipping his ass.
I have starred in local Arizona commercials.
Ooh. What?
Wow. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Should have led with that one.
Man.
Anybody?
Anybody? I'm gonna take a stab at it.
Okay.
Local Arizona commercials is what throws me off.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Me
What
too,
was the
'cause
first clue?
I had an idea, but
What was the first clue?
Uh,
I wanted to be a serious actor in the first half of my career.
Mike Myers.
No. God, no.
Okay.
I have a guess.
Leslie Nielsen.
Yes.
Oh,
What?
Yes.
What?
That was awesome. Wait, what commercial was he in?
He was in some like
The Arizona
yeah.
Federal Credit Union
Yes.
commercials. He
I
used to be
just
the-
remembered it.
Yeah.
Damn.
Good one. That was a good one, man.
And the second clue was my partner in my most famous film is a murderer.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
Like a literal
OJ.
murder.
Yeah.
OJ.
OJ.
Simpson. There you go.
Okay, guys.
Well, he was found innocent. Let's just say
Whatever.
The glove did not fit.
Our
Yes.
next contestant is a very handsome man. He goes by the name of Cody. Cody, what?
I thought it was me.
Mike even made a face like he was like, oh, taken aback by that nice comment.
So good. Cody, go ahead. Go ahead.
Cody,
Funny.
who the hell are you?
Cody, who the hell are you?
Well, I'm glad you guys asked. I'm a character. Okay. Clue number one. Clue number one. My watch is a communicator. My watch is a communicator. Clue number two. I like yellow.
My hand was up first, Chris. Get that down.
I'm second.
Hold on.
Get that meat mitt down.
I'm
Clue
second.
number three. You can find me in the Sunday paper.
Hello.
Oh, now I know it. Go ahead for first hand up.
Dick
First hand
Tracy.
up was
Yeah.
Kyle, and it is Dick Tracy.
Totally Dick
Yes.
I thought that was going to be a lot more
Tracy. Do I get
challenging.
half a point
I
for also
own.
knowing that?
No.
I thought that was
I
gonna be a lot more
I
challenging.
owned the that watch when I was a kid.
Did you?
Lucky. I was
Yeah.
so jealous of kids that got to own that watch.
That watch was badass.
I thought that was going to be challenging. I didn't think anybody was going to get that quickly.
I love that movie. That was
Yeah?
like my childhood right
I
there.
like
I watched that
Yellow.
all
I
the
figure
time.
I figure we're going to come across it.
I like
eventually.
Yellow was a little bit of givey.
Yeah,
but-
that's a little bit of the give me. I was gonna because I couldn't remember if Prune Face was from Dick Tracy or Rocketeer.
obviously it was from
Yeah, it's
Dick
from Dick
Tracy.
Tracy.
Dick Tracy. Okay.
Yeah.
Because Rocketeer has like a similar bad guy.
No, he just has like a
No, yeah.
dysmorphic looking giant
Yeah, that
Nazi.
dude. I forgot. Yeah, I
So.
forgot his name in the film. But all right.
So I
next.
got a point.
Yeah, that's. Oh man, we got a 3-way tie. This could break it here. Next up, well, he can't guess, so he's gonna lose.
No, I already have a point. I said Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah, but you can't guess on this one, so.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, you
Just
might
between
lose.
you and me, Cody.
Yeah, or Chris could tie it up, and then we
Yeah.
have to go do a tiebreaker
Three-way
round. A tiebreaker.
Let's
round.
go.
All right,
Do it.
I want
Next
to do
up
tiebreaker.
on Who the Hell Am I is Mike. Mike, who the hell are you?
Okay, who the hell am I? I am a character from a film.
He's a character from a film that probably
And
none of us have seen.
The first clue is I'm living in my brother's shadow.
I'm living in my brother's shadow. I'm living in my brother's shadow.
Second clue.
Second clue.
I have a foot fetish.
I have a foot fetish.
And clue number 3 is duct tape makes a good bandage.
Duct tape makes a good bandage.
Okay.
I'm not.
Without Cody repeating it, can you say those one more time?
Okay, real quick.
He's
One,
getting
I'm living
serious.
in my brother's shadow. My brother's shadow.
I'm living in my brother's shadow.
I have a foot fetish.
I have a foot fetish.
And 3 is duct tape makes a good bandage.
Duct tape makes a good bandage. Living in my brother's shadow. Shadow. God,
I'm not making it easy on you.
Mike
guys.
actually can win this if none of us get it. Actually, he'll get a point and
living
win.
in my brother's shadow.
So get it. Yeah, that's the one that I'm hung up on. I'm living in my brother's shadow.
And what's the second one again?
I have a foot fetish.
I have a foot fetish. What?
Never thought you'd say that on the air.
I did.
Foot fetish. I have a foot fetish.
It's just us
repeating.
It's just us. I'm repeating. I have a foot fetish for the next 20
we're
minutes.
All right. We gotta cut it off.
time.
No, you gotta throw a guess out there, Chris.
Bill Cosby.
Oh my God.
What?
Oh my God. Went so dark. What was his brother's name? John Cosby? He was a senator. Just living in the shadow.
John Cosby.
I'm gonna guess Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell.
No way.
God damn it. You guys are so far off.
You're just
Yeah, we
throwing
were way
random
off.
shit
Where the
out
hell
there.
are we?
Who's your guess, Kyle?
Yeah, I got nothing.
That's
I got
it.
nothing.
That's
Okay.
I
it.
can't even come up with a fake
His
answer.
guess is Shrek.
All right, so the answer is from the movie From Dusk Till Dawn. It's Richard Gecko.
Oh my
I
God!
knew it was something to do with Quentin
That was
Tarantino,
so
but I couldn't
good.
think of a movie.
I was
God damn it.
instantly when I heard foot fetish, I instantly thought Quentin Tarantino.
Me too.
You
And-
should have. You should have went on that.
Wow.
You should have went on that tag.
That was a good one. Well, guys, that's our show for the week. Join us next week when we'll be talking about more movies, more cult films. So make sure you tune in. Follow us on Facebook. Look up Cult Film and Review. Follow us on Instagram, CultFilm_review. That is also the same for the Twitter, CultFilm_review. So you can find us there. That's blowing up. We got stories going on the Facebook and on the website. So go check those out. Mike is following all of Scream, the television series on MTV right now, and he's writing about that.
Hating
So
every minute of it.
Pretty
Every
much.
minute.
Pretty much, guys.
Yeah. So go read that. Mike also has a blog. Mike, what's your blog?
FriendlyNeighborhoodFilmmaking.com.
There it is. All right, guys. See you next week.
Oh, wait, one more thing.
Oh!
Yeah.
For all those fans out there, have we missed a film? Why don't you come out and let us know? Get us on Twitter. Talk to us on Facebook. Give us some ideas. We will be glad to give you a shout out, and we'll pick a film for you guys.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys. Join us next week. Later.